and dose. Trace.
It was back in the summer of 2011 when I went on my first mission trip to Burkina Faso, West Africa. It was there that I spent time with the people, and I saw how sick, malnourished, and destitute they were. Here I actually had the chance to hand out vitamins and medicine to each of them in a hospital, and right there is when I realized that people in the medical vocation can help promote the things that God values. If you've ever been to a doctor's office or to the hospital, the practitioner taking care of you was showing you some of the things that God values. Because of my work overseas, I have seen the impact that individuals can have in the medical vocation by showing other people what God values. According to Scripture, God values human life, our love for others, and our compassion for others. Throughout the rest of the time, I will show you 3 different career paths that can be taken and what God values in each of them. A doctor can promote God's value of human life. A hygienist can promote God's value of our love for others. And a registered nurse can promote God's value of our compassion for others. Now, starting with the doctor. In the medical job field, one career option for someone to take is to become a doctor. And as a doctor, one can show how God values human life. A passage in the Bible, Acts 17, verses 25 to 28, shows that God values human life. It states, "He himself gives everyone life and breath, and everything else, for in him we live and move and have our being." Our textbook, by Alvin, gives an example. Dr. Ron Huestra, a neonatal specialist, works to give very prematurely born babies a chance to live. Huestra is quoted as saying, "A lot of lives are saved that might otherwise have slipped into eternity, with little notice." At the hospital, Huestra and his colleagues have tried to save the lives of 37 babies born at 22 weeks, which is a time in gestation at which a baby's anatomy has often not developed to the point of being compatible with survival outside of the uterus. It is very clear that Huestra promotes God's value of human life in his job as a neonatal doctor. Along with doctors, hygienists can also promote the things that God values. Another opportunity in the medical field is being a hygienist. And as a hygienist, one can promote God's value of our love for others. The Bible shows that God values our love for others in John 13:34, which states, "A new command I give you, love one another as I have loved you. So you must love one another." God loved us so much that he sent his son Jesus to die for us. And because of that, we are now called to place our lives on the line to show God's love for others. An article found from Doctors Without Borders shows the testimony of one hygienist, Mohamed Leno. Leno was putting his life on the line to work in Sierra Leone fighting Ebola. He states, "My job exposes me to the worst side of Ebola. I help patients out and into a triage tent where they are given water and snacks. If someone has died, then it's my job to disinfect the body and ready it for the burial team." Mohamed Leno is putting his life on the line to show his love for those who are sick. Finally, moving from a hygienist to a registered nurse, I will show how a registered nurses can promote what God values. The last opportunity in the medical job field that I will expound upon is a registered nurse who can promote God's value of our compassion for others. In Isaiah 58:7, the Bible states, "Is it not to share your food with the hungry and to provide the poor wanderer with shelter when you see the naked, to clothe them, and not to turn away from your own flesh and blood?" The Bureau of Labor Statistics describes what registered nurses do. They state, RNs provide and coordinate patient care, educate patients and the public about various health conditions, and provide advice and emotional support to patients and their family members. In other words, they show compassion to others. In a personal interview with John Buck, who is a registered nurse recognized as a clinical nurse expert, states, "Many patients react very negatively when they are sick, and in turn, they take out their fears and frustrations on the nurses providing their care. When this happens, we have to see the patients as someone who is loved by God and do our best to take care of them emotionally and physically. We must show our compassion on them." In conclusion, The medical job field offers many careers that can be used to promote things that God values. For example, a doctor can promote God's value of human life. A hygienist can promote God's value of our love for others, and a registered nurse can promote God's value of compassion for others. Doctors, hygienists, and nurses all promote God's values. Thank you.
Yay!